When we start business, normally the focus is on capital, market, and other necessities required for you to run your business, and forget about your human resource.
Now, our entrepreneur today paid special attention to the human resource component of business, and he has a lot of boxes he has ticked. Here's his story.
My name is Simon Peter Muwonge. I'm the principal of the Eaglet Schools, the branch in Chengera and Busega. We run two schools, and they are both a kindergarten, day and boarding primary schools. We opened up these schools. We began with the Chengera Busega branch on the 26th of May 2008. We began as a kindergarten only. We kept on growing and advancing into a full primary school. And later in 2020, we acquired this much bigger branch of Chengera, which we call the Eaglet Schools Chengera, with a kindergarten, day and boarding primary school. The schools in general, I'll talk about Uganda, but maybe even world over, have been grossly hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. First of all, we've never had a time like almost 2 years of inactivity. These are 2 years of not earning money, and a school, like any other enterprise, needs a lot to stay afloat. So we've had 2 years of not earning, but we have to spend to keep these schools running and being able to open like we've just opened this year. So we've been grossly hit because we had no incomes. Most of the schools lost the staff we had, because some staff went abroad, others went on to other vacations, and some schools could not even be able to open up because most of their numbers had gone to other schools, some had relocated to other locations. First of all, the COVID-19 scourge. Anybody that has kept afloat like we are needed to know different like many schools are. Schools that only opened just to make money, many of them have already closed as we speak. It only required somebody to have a vision, somebody to see beyond today. We are moving as if normally, because we saw beyond this. We have a vision for schools, and we have a love and a passion for what we are doing. We are not just here to make money, but we are here to build something bigger than today. And because we looked beyond today, that's why we are standing. We have kept on using the little we have. In the Eaglet Schools, we have a saying, a slogan. We say, we use what we have to create what we don't have. However little we've had, we have chosen to make it able to take us through, and that's why we are keeping afloat as we speak. I, as the proprietor of the Eaglet Schools, and the Eaglet Schools in general, of Busega and Chengera, we are different. One, because we're not just here to make money. We realized long enough that one of the things God has called us to do, we feel it's a calling. It's beyond just making money. We are here to nurture a new generation. We could not just imagine seeing these schools sold off because we have dates here and there, because we have needs, because it's a pandemic. The reason why we are still running is because we have a vision. We have a passion, we have a love, and we have a target, and a big dream beyond the current challenges. The Eaglet Schools began in 2008 with a branch in Busega, and after those 14 years, after the 14 years up to date, we've been able to acquire a lot. We've been able to acquire properties, land, and other assets that makes a school move. A school requires a lot of space, requires a lot of buildings, and we have been able to acquire that. We've been able to acquire a new branch in Chengera, where I'm currently sitting as I speak. And all that has been done in these 14 years. We've been able to establish a good competing name, because that's also crucial for business. And we've been able to build a big team of many able men and women who run these schools on a day-to-day basis. One of the greatest challenges of most private schools, if I summarize it, it's money. Most schools lack enough funds to run. Most schools lack enough funds to have the able staff to run and to operate these schools on a day-to-day basis. So that has been a great challenge. I don't know why, but in schools, most times collecting school fees is not always a simple thing.
It is quite easy. Sometimes when we are private out there and we are thinking about creating a business or a company, we think it's so complicated, especially if it comes to when it comes to free zones. But it's quite simple. Number one, the company must be registered for the purpose of exporting products out of Uganda and onto the global market. So the requirement is that you should be able to export 80% and more of what you produce, of your factory or company output. Secondly, we are looking at the jobs that you're going to create so that Ugandans, the youth, the women can get jobs. Because when you create jobs, that has a dividend for the economy. And lastly, but not least, we are also looking at the environment. We do not want investments that are going to destroy the environment. However, those are the overarching three issues, but there are other issues that we also look at. Number one, we are looking at technology transfers. When you set up this company and you're going to be exporting out of Uganda and we are going to give you all these incentives, how do we benefit as a country in terms of skills and technology transfer? Number two, we are also looking at value addition to locally available raw materials. Even if it's not 100%, but a significant percentage of the value added should be local content, so that we can have these backward linkages to the population in the country. That will, of course, will have spin-off effects in terms of household incomes and improved welfare in the community. We are also looking at integrating the local economy with the global economy. We need to link up with the global economy and export. And of course, as you are aware, if any country does not implement a formidable external strategy, that country cannot develop as fast.
Technological innovation in the area of mobility has seen the emergence and adoption of electric vehicles. But before we even get there, Uganda has shown us how possible it can be with the use of solar energy.
And that's the Kayola bus that many have had. And today we're trying to find out the mechanism, the technological mechanism that's powering this bus out of solar power.
My name is Fred Matovu. I work at Kira Motors Corporation, and I'm the manager in charge of electric and electronic systems and also the powertrain systems. So right now I'm aboard the Kayola EVS. The Kayola EVS is a premium electric bus that is manufactured by Kira Motors. It is a 12.5 meter bus. It's a low floor city bus, full electric. That means it's not using an engine. So the Kayola EVS has a range of 300 kilometers. So that means when I charge this bus, I can move 300 kilometers without recharging it again. It has a dual motor, which is over 245 kilowatts with 4,400 Newton meters. Aboard this electric bus, you will find other amenities that you need when you are moving on the bus to give you that experience. You have LCD screens that can be used for communication and also entertainment. We have destination signs that will alert the passengers at different bus stops where the bus is going. The bus is fitted with CCTV camera to act as a security feature, and also it can be used by the fleet manager of those buses. So there are many other features that the bus has, including an electrically powered wheelchair ramp that is made for inclusiveness to also cater for the people who are using wheelchairs, because the city bus will be including everyone that is within the city. We have other features on the bus like Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi on board. So when you're on the Kayola EVS, you're not worried about connectivity. Then we also have USB charging. So if you're having a phone or if you're having a tablet while you are moving on the Kayola EVS, you can still charge your phone or you can charge your tablet as well. So the way the Kayola EVS works, it's an electric bus. So that means it's not using fuel, there's no engine. So whatever was being driven by the engine in an electric bus, it is done entirely differently using electricity, which is stored in batteries. So the main components in an electric bus, basically, it includes the battery, which is the main storage area for the electricity that you're going to use when you're driving the bus. It has the motor and the motor controller. So in an ordinary bus, you have an engine, and in an electric bus like the Kayola EVS, the engine is replaced by a motor. In a normal bus, you have a fuel tank where you put either diesel. However, in an electric bus, you have a battery pack. So basically, you are transforming the energy that is stored in a normal bus from fuel into electric energy, which is stored in batteries. Energy is stored in the battery, which is the main traction battery, and then that energy is used whenever it is requested for by the driver to move the bus. So when the driver switches on the bus and he commands using the shifter and using the accelerator pedal, he is commanding the energy that is stored in the batteries to be used to move the bus. So the energy is transferred from the batteries using cables that we have that are running all over the bus. Then those cables transfer the energy from the battery pack to the motor controller, which controls the movement of the motor in either direction, either forward or backward, and then eventually the motor moves the bus. So basically, the electric energy flows from the battery pack, it goes to the motor rotates and then moves the bus.
We've come to the end of this week's edition of Money and Markets. Thank you for always being a part of us.
We appreciate it and we treasure you. Again, business never goes to sleep. It's always a going concern. We'd like to keep the conversation going. Drop us a line on that is on your screen. Until next time, I've been your host, Charles Boji.
And I'm Shamim K. Matovu.
Bye-bye.